Yo guys, welcome to my channel, and today we're finally taking a look at one of the greatest cinematic masterpieces ever made. It's far better than Cats, it's far better than the After franchise, and those are masterpieces in and of itself. Today we're talking about the VelociPastor. So I was thinking to myself, what would be a great way to start off this channel? And I thought to myself, and with a couple of friends, we were thinking, let's review a cinematic masterpiece. So the first movie we came up with was the VelociPastor. It's easily the greatest cinematic masterpiece ever put to screen. It may not be the most popular among audiences, but you can't deny that this movie is fucking flawless. When you turn on a movie and the first thing you see is a car on fire, but the car is not on fire because there is no car, but instead there is a sentence like VFX car on fire, you know you're in for a disastrous treat. So yeah, I watched the VelociPastor and I loved it because it's the greatest movie ever made. And I see you are thinking, hey Sven, it's a 2018 movie, why are you reviewing it now? And the reason for that is because I was waiting for the right moment. And with a great cinematic masterpiece like the VelociPastor comes a great cinematic awesome channel like Sventastic. So it's the perfect combination to do this as my first video in English. So if you haven't seen the VelociPastor yet, please turn off this video and go watch the movie and then come back so we can finally understand each other on why this movie is awesome and all the other movies ever made, especially those masterpieces by Scorsese, Tarantino, and Nolan, are all garbage considered with this one. There are only three things that I care about in life, and it's a pastor chasing into a velociraptor, it's two kids, with one kid being baby Voldemort, fucking each other all the time, and human-sized cats. Hey, if the MCU can be successful, we can make a cinematic universe from After Cats and the VelociPastor. It will work, believe me. And I know you're thinking that's a stupid ass idea, but I know that you're watching that shit as much as I am going to watch that shit. So let's do this, we can make this happen. Sventastic Productions will produce that thing. We do it. But now let's talk about the VelociPastor. And I have to admit that maybe story-wise it isn't a good thing that this story exists, but it's a phenomenal thing, because it's awesome in every way. Not only does everything in this movie make sense, it's also one of the greatest written scripts of all time. I mean, the things people say in this movie are flawlessly perfect. I mean, one of the other pastors, or like the principal pastor, I don't know what he's called, he says one thing to our main character when his parents died, and that's what they do. That's what parents do. They die on you. And I got you. I know you're thinking, well, that's maybe a strange thing to say to someone who just lost his parents, but consider this. He's not even lying. When you need your parents the most, those fuckers always die on you. They always go when you need them. And what do you have to do now? Well, you have to come up for yourself. So that sentence, it may sound a little bit strange, but it's filled with emotion, it's filled with truth, and it's filled with knowledge about life. So it's one of the greatest things I ever heard. And yeah, our man goes to China. He gets bitten by a teeth, and he goes back and he fucks up with a hooker, and he and the hooker fuck again. And he and the hooker fuck again. And he changes into a dinosaur. And you just know that that hooker fucked the dinosaur. I mean, wouldn't you do that? If there is one thing that's for real, if velociraptors lived to this day, I would definitely fuck. So yeah, this movie is the greatest story I've ever seen in a movie, like ever. So yeah, it's safe to say I give this story easily the maximum points, 200. Moving on to the characters, those are great too. Why is he a pastor? It's it's a great way to show emotion in his character because he has to kill somebody, but he's a pastor, so he can't kill. And there's this scene where the hooker gigolo dude is just talking to the pastor, and the pastor knows something. I'm not gonna spoil it because it's cinematic master writing. So yeah, he's talking, and at one point the pastor snaps, and the pastor kills the dude, and it's great, and it's filled with emotion, and you can really feel those claws through your screen. Or that was just the knife I was trying to cut over my own. So yeah, and as I said before, this pastor fucks a hooker, which is total opposites, by the way. Well, okay, to be clear, it's only total opposites if you consider that the hooker only fucks with legally allowed people, and the pastor only fucks with not legally allowed people. Kids.
What did he say?
Yeah, our characters are fucking amazing. I can't remember anybody's name, but they're amazing. Characters, easy 201 to 200. Even stylish, this movie is awesome. It has the greatest cinematography I've ever seen. Every shot just tells a story in and of its own. Every shot is a painting of itself. It's great. This movie goes extremely fast, and it's really great because when you're watching a movie with a runtime like this, it has to feel like a short movie. It has to feel like a short movie, and this movie definitely does. It feels like it's over in 5 minutes because you're just having so much fun with it, and you're just feeling so much of it. So it's awesome, it's great, it's fantastic. And people always talk about the Marvel Cinematic Universe or other movies with a great budget to spend on their CGI, but those movies, especially Avengers Endgame, Ad Astra or other movies, those movies all fail where the VelociPastor doesn't. I mean, VFX Car on Fire. That one deserved an applause. It's safe to say style 300 to 150. Then I also score what I thought of a movie going in, and was I expecting much of it, and did the movie surprise me? Like, was it a surprising movie, or did I see everything coming from a mile away? And I have safe to say that I did not see any of this coming. When he's changed into a VelociPastor, when he changed into a dinosaur, I was like, what is this? Who is the pastor? Who is the dinosaur? Who is this and why is this? That's the most important question. This movie doesn't only say who and how, but it only makes you ask why. And that's great. Shakespeare licked the balls of this writer because he did a great job. This movie was a complete wow. I give it a 100 to 100. The acting is also flawless. I mean, that's what parents do. They die on you was delivered perfectly. Every other aspect of this movie, what was acted, was great. The dinosaur looked real as fuck, and when he changed back and he stood there like this, that worked great. So yeah, this movie is awesome. Acting 500 to 150. I also always have a score based on what the critics thought of this movie, but I couldn't find anything because the critics were too shy to talk about this, so I'm just gonna give it a 100 to 100. And based on quality reasons, I just have to give this movie the real 50 out of 50. So yeah, I was entertained the whole fucking movie, so I really just have to give this movie what it deserves. I give this movie 5 stars and a heart, 55 to 50. That gives this movie a final score of 1,605 to 1,000 or a 16 to 10. Have you seen this movie? Will you see this movie? Please watch it. It's awesome. I want to say goodbye. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow in a new review. That will be Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Look what that will be all about. So yeah, let's have some fun. Welcome to my channel. This is Sventastic. This whole video was a joke, but now you know how I review my movies. I love you all. You're great. I think I'm gonna watch the VelociPastor again. Goodbye.